It's been a hot minute since I did a ranking, a review roundup where I come back and I tell you all about the things that I've been trying out as of late, giving you my final verdict about these things. Because a first impression is all fine and dandy, but I need to try them out a bit more and get back to you and let you know how I feel about these things. There's a couple of things here that I've changed my mind about, and then there are some things that I've definitely not changed my mind about. But this is gonna be me reviewing a bunch of things that I've been trying as of late. I'm gonna start with my least favorite things, and we are gonna work our way up to my favorite thing as of late. And I will link all the things that I am talking about down in the description box in case you're interested in any of these things. And like I said, we're gonna start at the very bottom. A lot of these things I bought myself. Some of them have been sent in PR. I know sometimes it's really did you get this sent for free? Did you buy this with your own money? I can only speak for myself, but I have no problem telling you that I hate something, even if it was sent to me for free. But you can always check the description box to see whether or not I got it in PR or if I bought it with my own money. I always try to mark that down below. And we're gonna start with the one thing that I am just I don't necessarily think that this is, not only do I not love the product as it is, I also don't think that this is the correct applicator for this product, and that is the Glimmer Blush Drops by Revlon. I have this in the shade Coral Sublime, and it is too pigmented. It's in a dropper, so you get a drop out, and you kind of have to put it on your back of your hand because it is too pigmented to put straight on your cheek. Personally, I don't love products where you have to put it on the back of your hand first. Every time I say I don't like a product, people are always like, oh, you need to warm it up on the back of your hand. There are so many good products out there where you don't have to do that. So why would I choose a product that I have to jump through burning hoops with when there are products out there that I don't have to do that with? Of course, if you're left with a product that you have to maneuver a little bit extra to get it to work for you, that's something. But I have a bunch of makeup here, and my job here on this platform is to let you know which ones are the best ones. So for me, if I have a product that I can use straight out of the container and it's very easy to blend out and it looks amazing, I'm always gonna prefer that one. So this one, I think it dries down too quickly. I think it's too pigmented to be in a compartment like this with a dropper, and I just honestly think that this would have been better off being a little bit more liquidy and a little bit more sheer. For this one, I think that if you're gonna do it like this, I think you should have done it with a doe foot instead, and I also think maybe not dry down this quickly. So for me, I think this one is a pass. Not only do I not think it's a good formulation, I also think it's not a good formulation for this compartment. At the next position, I'm just gonna put the new color in the Fall Filler Gloss by Huda Beauty. I mentioned that I don't like this gloss in a darker color, and I said that the reason why I didn't like the darker color, because I have the brown one as well, this one I got in PR, but I did buy the brown one myself, is because I think that the pigment somehow separates from the gloss and gets into the ridges of your lips, because you have those fine lines in your lips, and it turns your lips looking striped, which I don't think is a good formulation. And I said I didn't know if that was something was only the brown gloss or if it was something that was with the other glosses too. No, I think it happens with this one too. So for me, I don't like this formulation. I don't think that this is something about it separating and just you seeing the pigment in the ridges of your, I don't like that. I don't think that that's a good formulation. So for me, I don't think that this gloss is the best. Next is going to be something that I have seen so many people like, but I just can't really get into it. I just don't think that this is an easy product to work with, and that is actually the liquid bronzers or the liquid contours. What are these called? These are called liquid contours from Rare Beauty, and I have the one in Serene, which is a medium one, and quite honestly, I think that I probably should have a lighter color because this medium is kind of dark. But how I feel about this product is that I feel like it's almost dry and oily at the same time. It's almost like a dry oil on your skin, and I feel like it blends kind of patchy, and when you try to blend it out to make it become even, it starts drying down too quickly and you start lifting your foundation while still feeling a little tacky on the skin. There's just something about this formulation that I just don't like working with. I have worked with it with different kind of foundations, mattifying foundations and more dewy foundations. I've tried working with it without any kind of powder, and I've tried so many ways, and I don't like it. I've tried it with different kinds of brushes. I even tried it with the brush that Rare Beauty sent because I have my own brushes. I run my own indie brand, so usually I use my own brushes, but I ended up using the brush that they sent as well, and I still didn't like the product. I just think that it's And maybe that's just something I will talk about with the next product too. I've realized that I don't like bronzers to be liquid if they're gonna dry down too quickly. My favorite liquid bronzer is actually the one from Makeup by Mario because that's more gel-like and it gives you some time to blend it out. I think that this one dries down too quickly and I need more I need more time to work with it. So for me, I love the cream bronzer stick. I'm literally wearing the cream bronzer stick from Rare Beauty today. I didn't film this eye look. I am wearing the new Arttitude Cosmetics palette together with the product that I'll talk about that's literally up in the top area. And I'll talk about that in a bit. But I love the cream bronzer, but this one, the cream contour, I just think it's finicky to work with. And again, that's how I feel about the bronzer and contour from e.l.f. And I have this in the shade medium, I think. Yeah, it's called medium. And this one I feel like, again, it's a little bit warmer and it's a little bit lighter. So this is probably a little bit more my shade. And if I like this formula, I would have definitely bought it in a lighter shade. I just don't love the formula. This one I think is easier to work with because I feel like it's a little bit easier to blend out. But same here, I feel like it dries down too quickly. And when I try to really blend it out and make it look seamless, I feel like it ends up looking patchy. And I never really love how it looks on me, at least not love it more than I love a cream bronzer. So I think a liquid bronzer just, I don't think it's for me. I don't think that that's for me, which is fine. I mean, not everybody can love everything. And now I have recognized that liquid bronzers or contours just might not be my thing. NYX came out with a buttermelt glaze. This is a skin tint, right? Yeah, soft glow skin tint. I don't think this is a soft glow. I think that this one is very dewy, and I have a more like combo skin with a very oily T-zone. And even in the winter months, because I was trying out this in the winter months, it just got too greasy on me too quickly. And it goes from feeling, you know, I like my skin to look, I like a little life in my skin. I like a luminous finish, but I don't like a greasy finish. I need the luminous finish to still be somewhat under control. And this was just full on like grease riot. Like, I don't know what to do with this one. For me, my T-zone, it was, yeah, butter glazed bananas. It was just too much. I didn't love it on me, but if you love a really dewy skin tint, that one might be for you. I prefer something that's not that greasy. It was just too much for me. Now we're going to talk about something that I initially really liked, and then the more I started using it, the more I was like, I don't know if I like this formula, and that is actually the Makeup Revolution Cream Bronzer Sticks. I think this is part of their Silk line. Bronzers, it just says bronzer stick, but I think this is part of their like Silk line because it got released together with some new products. So I have two different colors. This is the one that's the lighter color, and then I have one that's called Caramel. One of these I bought myself, and one of these I got sent in PR. I am wearing a little bit of this one today, the little warmer color, but I had to go in with the Rare Beauty bronzer stick to blend it out because I've realized that these are a little tuggy, almost the way that the Made by Mitchell, those like almost like a little sticky tuggy. And again, this is the kind of formula that I'm sure it will work so much better if I put it on the back of my hand first and work it in. But I don't have to do that with the Rare Beauty ones. I don't have to do that with the Tarte ones. I don't have to do that with the Too Faced ones. So I might as well use those instead. So for me, I think that this one is just a little bit too sticky tuggy to be a perfect formula. But if you have that one, I definitely think you can make it work. You just need to warm it up a little bit before. The next one I'm going to talk about is something that I've heard other people actually like, and that is the e.l.f. Power Grip Matte Primer. For me, I think that this one is combining two different things that I thought that I was going to really like. Because I love a gripping primer because, again, since I have a combo skin, sometimes the oils can almost make the foundation float on your skin. So a gripping primer just holds it into your skin and makes sure that it doesn't move around on your skin. And then, of course, a mattifying primer is something that I really love, especially in the T-zone during the summer, like the spring, summer months, which is more than half the year here in Texas, just to keep my T-zone a little matte. So I thought that this was going to be a great combo. But what I think that this primer actually does is that it's not really great at any of the things. It's not mattifying enough to be a good mattifying primer, and it's not gripping enough to be a good gripping primer. So I actually prefer just doing a good gripping primer or doing a good mattifying primer. I just feel like this one doesn't do enough for my T-zone. So for me, this is just one of those, can take it or leave it kind of a product. And I feel exactly the same about the next one. This is the Makeup by Mario Gloss. I got it in Watermelon. Love this color. I love a juicy, like a warm pink, apricot, peachy red, clear gloss without shimmer. So the color is perfect. The thing about this one is that I don't think it wears great. I think it like disappears a little bit too quickly. It's not sticky, it's very comfortable on lips, but I don't think it looks glass-like enough. It's almost like it's just a little, again, it's just the middle of the road. It looks fine. It looks fine, but I have glosses from the drugstore that I like more than this. So why would I buy this one? And let's be honest, a pretty like basic component with a pretty basic everything when it's just not even extraordinary on the lips. It's fine. It's fine, but quite honestly, it disappears too quickly. It doesn't give that really glass-like result. And it's just like, I don't know, I could take it or leave it, quite honestly. So I think that this is one of those things where I'm like, if you're looking for a juicy, like see-through glass-like gloss, I don't think you should get that one. There are so many other ones you can get. The next one, now we're getting into 3 products that are preference. There aren't really anything wrong with these products. It's just not the kind of products that I reach for, and that's why they're in the bottom. The first one being the Plump Ambition from L'Oreal. I thought this was going to be a cooling gloss. It is not. It is a plumping, stinging, you know, the bees are attacking your lips kind of a gloss, and I'm not about that. I'm not about that. I thought this was, it was my mistake. I don't like a plumping, stinging gloss, and if you don't like that either, I would stay away from this one from L'Oreal because it is kind of hurting and I didn't love the experience. I did it once and I was like, oh, maybe I was just like over exaggerating. I did it twice and I was like, nope. There, no lies were told. This is the stinging gloss. I just don't love it. It's not as stinging as some glosses, but it's way too much for me to want to do it a third time. You know, fool me once, shame on you, and fool me twice, like shame on me. 3 times? Now I'm the town idiot, okay? We're not doing that. The next one is going to be the Physicians Formula Diamond Dust. This is very similar in formulation to those diamond highlighters from Fenty. It's like fine, fine, fine sparkles encapsulated in a gel. When you put it on the skin, it looks very much like wet look, glass-like, but it is glittery. If you're looking for that, definitely. I'm just not. I don't think this is a bad formulation. It does what it says it's gonna do, and it is kind of similar to that Diamond Bomb thingamabob from Fenty. So if you're looking for an affordable dupe, sure, get this one, but I'm not even looking for the original. I wasn't looking. I got that one in a goodie bag. So for me, I tried it out and I realized, no, I still am not back to being in love with glittery highlighter. Unless it's something that I'm gonna show you in a bit, where I'm actually like, I could be about this. Next one is same here. I also don't love a glittery lip, and these are the new lip balms. These are glitter lip balms from Half Magic Beauty. They sent me these in PR. I did swatch all of them, and I gotta say, they are very extraordinary on the lips. They are super sparkly, non-gritty. They do feel like a lip balm, and they are, you can sheer them out, you can build them up. They are very sparkly and like glowy on the lips, but I don't like glitter lips. But if you do, I mean, these are pretty cool. And like I said, they're not graded. They feel like a balm on the lip, coming for different colors. So I definitely don't think this is a bad product. It's too sparkly for me. It is just too sparkly for me. And I've seen this trend that has been going on as of late with a lot of like sparkly lip glosses. And I'm just like, sparkly glosses, sparkly metallic lipsticks. Now we're seeing glitter lip balms as well. I've seen several on the market just this past couple of like 2 months, and I'm just like, ooh, that is not a trend I need to see back. I know let me know. How do you feel? Glitter lips, yay or nay? Next on the list are the liquid highlighters by Urban Decay. I don't dislike these products. I just don't like them as much as other liquid illuminators or highlighters. I think that these, for me, these are not enough to be a liquid highlighter on the cheekbones on their own. If I use them like that, I feel like they sheer out too much and almost blend into whatever's going on underneath, to the point where I don't think that they give enough highlighter result. I think that these work best mixed with a foundation or skincare or a skin tint, or used as a primer. And I do use products like that sometimes, but I would have liked it to work as a liquid highlighter as well. And again, there's something about this, it just looks a little bit too dull on my cheekbones for my preference. So for that reason, I think that these are just a little bit too subtle, which is like, Who would have thought? But that's how I feel about them. The next one I'm going to talk about is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the Ubi shade. This is Ubi Birthday Cake, and I love the Huda Beauty powder, but this powder is meant more for a darker medium than me and a tan skin tone to brighten up. For me, this looks a little bit more like an obvious purple. If you're going for that look, this is a great powder if you're going for that purple look. But again, I am more of a light medium. I don't have a tan right now. So for me, this looks more like an obvious purple. If you're going for that look, that's cool. It's a different vibe for sure. But I do prefer other shades. And it could also be because I have more of a golden undertone. Something purple like this just doesn't give the result that I'm looking for. I really love the more yellowy tones and the peach powder that they have, which is maybe meant more for my kind of undertone. But if you were looking for a purple powder, the quality of the powder is really good. It's just not perfect for me. The next product is something that I love, but there's like a caveat, and that is the Maybelline Superstay Teddy Tint. This one is a matte tint to the lips, and the product is described as something that you can either wear sheer or you can build it up and wear it opaque. I think the problem with this product is that it's only comfortable if it's sheer. And when you wear it sheer, it's really comfortable and super beautiful. Looks fairly similar to the Benefit lip tint that I talked about in my yearly favorites last year, but that one you can build up and it doesn't get tacky. This one, if you build it up, it becomes kind of tacky and unpleasant to wear on the lips. Like you feel like you have like glue on your lips, and that's not my favorite. If you like a sheer lippy though, it's wonderful. Just I wish you could build it up the way that they describe the product. I mean, you could. It's just not comfortable when you do. This is the Colourpop Soul Body Liquid Sun Glow Drops. Yes, that is what it's called. And it has one of these like little snout applicators. I actually have used this as a liquid bronzer, and I like this more than the other liquid bronzers, and that's why I'm ranking this higher. I don't feel like this one dries down as quickly as the other ones. This one is a little bit more sheer as well, which makes it a little bit more forgiving. This is the kind of, you know, the sun drops that you can either use as a bronzer, which is how I've been using it, or you can use it as a primer all over your face. If you, like me, tan very easily on your body, but you end up like, you know, scrubbing away the tan on your face. If you want to do just a quick all over your face to like even out the skin tone, or to mix it in with your like foundation or your primer or anything like that, just to even out your skin tone, get a little bit of like a bronzy glow. I think it's a really nice, affordable option. I've tried the one from Pacifica as well, and I like this one way better because I feel like the one from Pacifica was too metallic and it dried down too quickly. Here we have a product where I love half the product and I'm a little bit so-so about the other half of the product. This is Dibs, which is a line that is now available at Ulta. It is online at Ulta, and I think they're trying it out in some stores. So this is their Glowy Blush and Contour Duo. So the contour, I wonder what shade I have. I have Starlit. The contour is a really nice depth for me, but it is a little bit more cool tone, and I don't love that on me. The blush though is beautiful. It is this like glowy golden peach that is really beautiful. It looks really dewy on the cheeks. I don't feel like it's tacky or lifting anything. I just wish that this one wasn't as cool tone. But again, this is a contour blush duo, so that is like, that's the name of the game. I just really love the blush formula, and I think the contour formula is, there's nothing wrong with the formulation, it's just a little bit too cool tone for me. So for me, this could never be like a one and done product. I would always need to bring in something to warm up my skin after this. Otherwise, I'm gonna look a little casket ready. I only have one of these here. I got sent two of these from Polite Society. These are the Polite Pout Glossy Lip Balm. I have another one that is a peachy one that is actually living in my purse. These are very lightweight on the lips. The other one is actually shimmery, which is again very unlike me. I'm not the person that usually does shimmery. I almost want to be like, I do a couple of like get ready with me's every now and then. I almost want to do a get ready with me where I just do a full face of makeup that's kind of out of my comfort zone. Let me know if you're interested in that, because I feel like pink cheeks, sparkly lips, like there's a lot of things that I'm mentioning. But I feel like these are very light and comfortable on the lips. They're not super goopy, they're not tacky, they don't form strings, they give just enough color, and I feel like they wear off gracefully, and they do nourish the lips, so I actually really enjoy them. And this like bright like pink, it is actually a really nice warm sheer pink that doesn't look weird on the skin. Like it's not a, there's not a white base in here, so it looks like a little bit weird. I actually really like these. I think they're really nice. The next one are going to be the new liquid blushes by DD Signature. I have 3 different shades here, and all 3 of these shades work on my skin tone, but the red one I have to use very little of. The reason why I like other blushes more than these is because I feel like sometimes these blushes that are incredibly pigmented can be a little bit hard to work with, because you do need a certain amount of product to be able to blend it out evenly on the skin. And if they're too pigmented, you run the risk of overusing or using too much. You have to use the smallest dot of these to be able to not overdo it. But the good part of that, of course, is that if you have a deeper skin tone, again, DD Signature is a woman of color owned brand, you definitely have blushes here that will show up on your skin tone. So it's like a give and take. Personally, I like when they're a little bit more sheer and buildable without lifting foundation, because I feel like these might be a smidgen too matte and a smidgen too, like there's no shimmer in them, just a little bit too matte and too pigmented for being perfect for me. And I feel like that about some other liquid matte blushes as well. They're nice, but I always prefer them to be a little less pigmented or have a little bit of shimmer to them to make them easier to work with. Next, I have the blushes from Polite Society. Again, I did not think I was gonna like these this much. There is one that is like, again, this like pinky shade. These are really nice. The one reason why these are not higher is because these do tend to become a little bit more of a powdery texture on the skin, which could be really good if you have oily skin. If I'm gonna do the powdery texture on my skin, these are nice, great quality, I really enjoy them. If I'm gonna do cream formula, I want the kind of cream formula that I'm gonna talk about in a bit that looks dewy on the cheeks without lifting foundation and without being tacky. That is the formula. Otherwise, I'll just do powder blush, which, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think powder blush will always be my favorite. Next, we have the cream blushes from Makeup Revolution. These are the marbled blushes, and I have 3 different shades here. These are like more than the bronzers. I feel like these are easier to work with. I'm actually wearing one of these today. I am wearing the one that is called Sun-Kissed Apricot, which is the one that's like a pink and orange marble. That's the one that I have on my cheeks today with highlighter on top. I feel like these are easier to work with than the other ones, but they're still not the most emollient to work with. But I feel like with this one, at least, you're able to go with the brush here and just like dot it on your cheeks, and you're able to get like a good result. So I think these are pretty good, but I still think there are other blush formulas that Makeup Revolution has done that's even better than these. They're not bad, they're just not my favorite. Here is something else that I'm actually wearing today, but then I topped it off with something else. I'm actually wearing 2 highlighters today, and I think you can see that there's like this different kind of color sheen going on. This is from Profusion. This is their new liquid highlighters, and these are called the Radiant Glow, and I have it in Rose Quartz. These are a pretty big component, and there is a doe foot, and these are really, really easy to like blend out on your cheeks. They blend out very easily. These are not a super blinding highlight. And today when I put it on, I was like, oh, this is more of a natural glow. It looks like you got, you know, 9 hours of sleep, you drank all your water, you haven't fought with anyone for ages, and you're about to be up for promotion. That's what this looks like. More of a natural glow. So if you're looking for that, something that is not metallic or super beaming or sparkly, this is really nice. It's from the drugstore. It's Profusion. It's fairly affordable. It's just I was looking for more today, and I will be honest, more and more have I realized that I'm leaning into the 2016 aesthetics of having glassy cheeks. I'm back, baby. This is a foundation that I've really been enjoying, but I have it in the wrong color, and I really should be buying the right color. And this is actually from Tier, and this is the pink one that I think is supposed to be the one that is more the mattifying one. I have it in the shade 33N Sand. And this shade, it does look like it's gonna be a good shade for me right now, but if I even spend 15 minutes in the sun, this is going to be too light for me. And even now, when I've used this one, it is a smidgen too light compared to my body, so it's just not the right shades. I did actually get a really big package from Tier. I don't know if I should like contact them and tell them that they're sending me too light shades. I'm never giving them my address. I don't know how they sent me stuff. I have no idea. Magically, I just got a PR package from Tier, and it was a bunch of different foundations, and this was the darkest shade. I got really, really fair shades that I was able to give to my friend, of course. I kind of want to try this one in my shade because it holds up beautifully on the skin. It did not lift, it did not move, it did not look heavy or crusty, it did not get oily. I really think that this is good, and I kind of am like, should I get this in my shade? It's just a smidgen darker than what we have here. One might think that this is what I have on my cheeks today, but it actually isn't. But this is the Unearthly and Sander collab. This is the Ooze highlighter. I actually really like this color. I think it's a really cool color. This is like a multi-chrome highlighter that's a green, blue, purple. It's a really cool sheer base. It looks really beautiful on the skin. I don't do colored highlighters that often, so for me this will be something that I probably reach for more for like eyeshadows or toppers, or if I'm doing a very specific look, which is pretty much the same as the one I'm wearing here today as well. Do think it's really good quality though, and if you're looking for a different highlighter, this is really cool and has this beautiful transparent base. I have another blush formula here as well, and these are the cream blushes by Cosmic Beauty. This is that formula that I was talking about. It looks dewy and fresh on the skin without being tacky and without lifting the foundation underneath. I do feel like these might be in some colors that aren't perfect for me, and that's why I kind of prefer some of the other ones. And some of them are, let me see if I can open this one up. Hello. And some of them are just a little bit more pigmented than I prefer, but I still think this is a beautiful formula, and I'm excited to see if they're going to come up with some more colors, because there are some interesting colors in here. They're maybe not just the kind of colors that I am going for myself like right now in this moment, but this is a really fun and beautiful formula, and I'm excited to see more blush formulas from indie brands. The next one is going to be the one size, what do they call these? B12 base thinner. This is a foundation thinner. It's made to be able to use with thicker or more full coverage foundations to make them a little bit more sheer without totally ruining the formula. It also has a little bit of a glowy base. You can use this as a glowy primer. You can use it on its own. You can mix it with everything you want to mix it with. I've mixed this with the full coverage foundation and it looked beautiful, and you can use this as a liquid highlighter, and I think that this one gives enough glow for me to be able to use as a liquid highlighter. So personally, I prefer this one and the consistency of this one and the sheen of this one over the one from Urban Decay. That's just a personal preference though. Next I'm going to talk about, who thought we'd see the day when we have like Morphe products here again. And this is the finishing powder. This is a soft glow veil. This is a finishing powder for Morphe. I use this one to finish off my face. It kind of like, if you had any of like the tackiness or moisture left for any cream product, this one sets it down but still leaves this beautiful effortless glow. It looks so fresh, it looks so blurred, it looks so finished. It is honestly a stunning product, and who thought we would see something this sophisticated and honestly this really like high quality plastic packaging from Morphe in 2025? Raise your hand. No one? Okay. Next one is something that I am so excited to see this brand release something that I think is this good. And these are the new cream blushes by Juvia's Place. I really like these. The packaging is really nice. There's like this really thin, like a puck. And then it's this big pan where you can get a brush, a small one, a big one, a sponge, whatever you want in here. Even if you have big nails, you can still get your finger in here because it's so flat. It's a really smart product, and I know they released bronzers like this in this packaging some while ago, and that bronzer had glitter specks in them, and I love the formula. I just didn't love the glitter specks. These do not have that, and this one leaves the most perfect dewy finish on the skin that looks so healthy and creamy and fresh. You almost don't need a highlighter. It just looks creamy and dewy on the skin, doesn't lift your foundation, and your hair doesn't stick into it. This is a really good formula. I'm very impressed with these, and I have 3 different colors, and I kind of hope that they will come up with this in a shimmery formula. I would be all about that. I really have been enjoying the ABH foundation. They sent me 3 different shades, but the darkest shade that they sent me was 1.5N, which is a light shade. And again, this is a smidgen lighter than my winter shade, which has been, it's hard to review a foundation and put it on because it's a full coverage foundation. It's really hard to review a full coverage foundation when it's not your shade because it just looks like you have a mask on in the wrong color. So I have been mixing this, I've been fixing this, but I ended up feeling like I like this enough, so I actually bought my shade. So I bought it in 3N, and this is more of like my spring going into summer shade. So now when I have my winter, I've actually been mixing like maybe 60-40, and it's been a perfect shade for me. And I've realized now that I wear it full coverage, dang, this is really good. It is a full coverage soft matte finish that feels actually kind of light on the skin. It holds up pretty good throughout the day, but it is not that powdery finish. And I've heard some people with more drier skin, again, I have oily combo skin, I've heard some people with drier skin appreciating this too, because it looks like blurry without looking like dry and dusty. So I gotta say, I think this is beautiful. Is this the most mattifying foundation in my range? No. But I still think it holds up really, really good, and it looks beautiful. And it is that like new generation of more effortless full coverage that doesn't look too heavy and cakey. I really like it. Okay, let's talk about the thing that I have on me right now, and that is the new NYX Butter Highlighters. So I am wearing the one that is in Butter Mint, and I wanted to buy the mint because I wanted to see what kind of formula this was gonna be. And I can tell you already, on the cheeks, this probably will not be my favorite, which is totally fine. That's how it is. Like I told you, colored highlighters usually aren't my favorite. This is also what I'm having on my eyes. You see that shimmer shadow? It's this one. I'm wearing 2 matte shadows, and then I'm wearing this highlighter on my eyes. That is my shimmer shadow. I gotta say, it's very impactful and impressive. I also have it in this shade. This is in Glazed Butter, and this is my perfect wet champagne. I used this in a video. Have you seen that yet? I think it was the video where I was talking about my personal style. I used this one. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's giving wet glazed without being that metallic stripe. It's just stunning. I'm obsessed. You know, I don't say obsessed a lot, but I love it. And also the purple one, this is marketed as a topper finish. This one is a little bit more of a sparkle finish. I think there are 2 different shades that have a sparkle finish. Beautiful. Even though this is purple, it looked beautiful on my skin. There was something about this that just looked really stunning. And I'm gonna be honest, this is not something that I do. I think I'm gonna get another shade, or maybe 2. I love these. I think these are great. I didn't like the bronzer at all. I thought it was too pigmented. I thought that the undertones were a little bit weird. I've heard people tell me that they've come up with more shades. I still thought it was not my favorite bronzer. It's not my favorite bronzer. The blushes were okay. They didn't blow my socks off. There was something about the formula. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. These, the highlighters, I want all the shades. I want more shades. I want all of it. These are stunning. They're beautiful, and they're at the drugstore. And I definitely think that if you were looking for a new highlighter, I mean, maybe that could be the one. I also like, now we're in top 3. Top 3, obsessed. Again, I don't want to use the word obsessed a lot, but I had to force myself to stop using this. Is it called Ube Cream? This is the liquid blush from Huda Beauty. Did not think I was gonna like this. I was like, lilac blush? Absolutely, absolutely not. But I have realized that there are lilac blushes that I can get away with if they have a little bit, and this one does, a little bit of a pink undertone and not too much white pigment. Stunning, stunning. It is so beautiful on the skin. I love this formula. This formula has a smidgen of sheen to it. Not to the point where it's metallic, but it makes it look effortless and dewy on the skin, but it does dry down. So this one looks dewy, but it dries down because it has a little bit of pearl in it, but it doesn't look metallic or sparkly. It's just a really cool and great formula. And I didn't think that I was gonna love this one, but I also saw Huda herself use it. And I think Huda has a tan skin tone, or like a darker medium going into tan. And like I said, I am right now a light medium. And if she could use it and it looks so good on her, I mean, clearly I'm gonna be able to use it too. Beautiful. I got a second one actually in PR, and I gave that one to my friend. She has a fair skin tone and she likes it too. So this is just, it's an amazing product. If you're looking for something fun, maybe this one could be for you. I know we have I don't know when that's coming, when this video is going up, because I'm pre-filming a little bit, but I know we have a Sephora sale coming up, and maybe some of these products can be a recommendation for you. I will say though, the last 2 things are gonna be affordable foundations. I've used this so much. Again, I had to force myself. I'm like, babe, We need to be reviewing other things as well. Okay, we know now. You love this one. This is the ColourPop foundation stick. This is the Pretty Fresh Tinted Foundation Balm. Beautiful. This can be sheared out, but it can also be built up to a medium. It has a very healthy, like a natural matte finish. It's very easy to blend out. It is not drying on the skin. It almost feels a little bit silky to blend out. It feels almost a little bit, it's like the perfect middle between the ABH stick and the Fenty stick. It is not as, I don't want to say oily, because I don't mean oily in a bad way. The ABH stick is oily in a good way, very emollient. And the Fenty stick is a little bit more, not drier, but like it doesn't feel as like emollient. This is like the perfect mix in between. I think this is beautiful. It holds up beautiful on my skin. And even though after like maybe 8 hours, I start getting a little bit glowy, but it doesn't look dirty or greasy or like I need to take my makeup off. It still looks good and it doesn't break up. And I'm so impressed with this one. And I can't believe it's ColourPop. Again, my number one favorite. I don't want to use the word obsessed, but I've been using this so much and I had to tell myself, again, we have other things to try here. The Maybelline foundation. This is the 30-hour Lumi Matte Foundation. This is, I would say that this Lumi Matte is a good word because it is matte, but it's not flat. It's not powdery. It's very liquidy and serum-like on the skin, but still it is full coverage, but it doesn't look cakey or heavy. And this one, even if you don't use a primer and you have oily skin, somehow it doesn't move around. It doesn't break up. And even if you end up looking a little bit, I don't get greasy with this one. Same here. I don't get greasy, but even if I end up getting a little like, not oily, but like a little dewy after like 8 hours or something, I still don't look like, boy, you need to take your makeup off. It doesn't break up the makeup, it doesn't move it around. It still looks like something that you just need to blot and you're good to go. I'm so impressed with this formulation. And I would say that this is a medium, which is very easy to build up to a full coverage. And I'm so impressed with this formulation. It looks so healthy on the skin, even though it has such great coverage, and it's just so liquidy and air-like and thin and beautiful. Beautiful foundation. Very, very impressed. Again, it's from the drugstore. I have the shade to 220, which has been a very good shade for me right now. What foundation am I wearing today? I think I might be wearing this one actually. Yeah, I think that this is the foundation that I'm wearing today, and I didn't mix it with anything. Yeah. I was trying to think back. This is foundation I'm wearing today. I didn't mix it with anything. And this is what my skin looks like. Of course, I have a highlighter on, but I didn't set my entire face with powder, just my T-zone. And I think it looks beautiful. Very, very, very much love this one. And I know the last ranking that I did, I put the L'Oreal Skin Tint, the very glowy one, somewhere in the top as well, because I think that one's beautiful. And I feel like these two, plus that glowy one from L'Oreal, is just giving me everything that I need right now. It's just a matte full coverage, a glowy one with medium coverage, and then this very like easy to apply and work with stick. I just feel like I have everything, and sometimes I get surprised at how great foundations you can get at the drugstore. And sometimes I just recently did a video where it's like 10 times what the drugstore did better. I'm almost surprised at like, how are you able to make this so much better with drugstore at like half the cost, sometimes less than half the cost. Like it's surprising sometimes. It's surprising. It's something like food for thought for sure. Let me know if you had any favorites that you have been trying these past couple of months. I would love to hear if you have anything that you agree with me, that you disagree with me, that you love something that I haven't tried, that you think I should be trying out. Please let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to check the description box for info about all the products that I talked about. And I will see you, I don't know, I'm pre-filming. I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye!